How does Chris Hemsworth feel after a workout at the gym? Bit Thor. So here we are in the sort of comedy couple of shelves I've got here. I do have other comedy films. Some of them are in the to watch pile, and some of them are just ones that, although are quite good, they're either not ones I could watch over and over again, have to be in a certain mood for, or ones that are probably just deemed as classics, which I will go back to now and again. But for me, these ones on here are pretty much ones I will watch over and over. So let's start going through the shelves. I'm just going to do, there's two shelves here, I'm just going to do them both together, get the video done, so then they're all in the same video. So yeah, let's crack on. So the first one I've got is 21 and over. I know this one's still sealed, but I have seen this one a few times on DVD. So yeah, enjoy that one. 21 Jump Street. I think, yeah, pretty much most people agree this one's wasn't anywhere near as bad as they all thought it was going to be when it first got released. And if you've got 21 Jump Street, you might as well have 22 Jump Street. So yeah, easy watching comedies. Next one is 40-Year-Old Virgin. Now this one is one that featured in my video from way back about sort of comedies that always make me laugh. Cracks me up every time, this one. Steve Carrell, fantastic job. So this one is 48 hours. It's the only, I think to my knowledge, it's the only VHS release I've got. Yeah, really nice, but they do take up that extra bit of space on the shelf. The only reason I picked this one up was because it was in a local CX to me at a pretty reasonable price. And I kind of wanted to see what they were like, the releases, but they're really, really good. So yeah, you've got your discs inside here. I love that it looks like an old VHS cassette. So some childhood classics up now for me. This is the Ace Ventura double set. So you get the first Ace Ventura and When Nature Calls in there. And that's under the Arrow Academy label, I think it is. Yeah, Arrow Academy. But I managed to get a good deal on that when I picked it up. Another one, so I got this one based on what it says on the front here, which is from the director of Superbad. So Superbad's one of my all-time favourite comedies. This one, not as much, but I still enjoy it. I do want to go back to it quite soon. Adventureland. So yeah, I've got a loose memory of this one, but I remember it's pretty easy watching. Adventureland. Another one I grew up with, Ali G in the House. Yeah, I used to watch the TV show, and I thought I'd picked up the movie, come upon some sort of special Amazon deal not that long ago. I know a classic for a lot of people, Airplane. So yeah, enjoy that one. Not too bad at all. But yeah, it's not one of my all-time favourites, which is a bit controversial. I know a lot of people absolutely love this one. I do prefer the Naked Gun movie over this. And then you've got an absolute staple in comedy from my generation anyway, which is the American Pie. I love 1, 2, and 3. I like all of these, to be honest. So yeah, the first one, absolute classic. Second one's pretty decent. What way around is it? That way around. And I even joined The Wedding. I think The Wedding's pretty decent. Yeah. And then we have American Pie Reunion. So yeah, this is the one obviously they did quite a few years later when they all got back together again. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Saw it at cinema. Next one we got here is Anchorman. Yeah, I do enjoy it. It grows on me more and more each time I watch it. I know a lot of people, this is one of their favourite Will Ferrell movies. I'm not the biggest Will Ferrell guy. I don't mind him in a few things. This one, I say, grows on me. Elf has grown on me. My favourite one's probably coming up a bit later. I'll show you that one when I get to it. So a recent pickup, as you might have seen on my pickup videos, Anger Management. I do like a bit of early 2000s Adam Sandler. So yeah, that one's in the collection. Another classic, so Animal House. Yep, watched that one quite a while back and thought it was pretty good. I can see why it sort of stood the test of time. One of those classic movies you can just throw on. So Austin Powers, the first one, pretty much enjoy this one. Austin Powers, the sequel. Yeah, I do actually like this one, probably better than the first one, to be fair. And the third one, I don't remember enjoying it that much, so I haven't picked that one up. I'm quite new to this one, but this is quite an old movie now. This is Tom Hanks in Bachelor Party. So yeah, I enjoyed that for what it was. Pretty good. Sort of an 80s, I believe it is. 80s comedy movie. But yeah, worth looking into if you're a fan of Tom Hanks. This one here, so Bad Grandpa. Now I've got, you know, this schoolboy humour, anything inappropriate. That is where my comedy comedy lays. So yeah, fart jokes, that sort of stuff. I don't know what it is. I shouldn't really be into it anymore, but it still tickles me every time. Then we've got Bad Mums. I've watched it maybe once or twice, but I don't remember it being too bad. Maybe you know, not for everyone, I can appreciate, but I thought it was okay. A few laughs at it. Bad Neighbours. Now I've got this one mostly for the cast. I do quite like Seth Rogen. Zac Efron I quite enjoy as well. But yeah, that was pretty good. Bad Neighbours 2. So yeah, another decent sort of instalment. Probably not quite as good as the first one, but is what it is. Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa. If you've seen this one, this is you know, this raises an eyebrow too if you're not that way inclined with the type of comedy it is. But yeah, I enjoyed this one for what it was. Picked up Bad Santa 2. I can't remember too much about this one, to be fair, but I do remember I've seen it a couple of times. So, Basketball. I need to go back to this one. I haven't watched this one for absolutely ages, but yeah, obviously the guys who did South Park or created South Park before that, or during the time of early days of that, it was Basketball was their feature film, or one of them. This one, so I picked this up really cheap on 4K in CEX, £5 or £6 I think it was, and yeah, again, it's got Zac Efron in it, it's got The Rock. I can easily watch those anytime. And the scene that got me on this one was the sunbed scene right at the start, and if you've seen it, you know I was in stitches. So yeah, worth checking out for that alone. After then, it goes downhill quite rapidly, but. So the next one, so this one was a you know, one that I used to watch when I was a teen growing up. Bought this one mainly for Big Daddy. Big Daddy cracks me up every time. Yeah, the cast in there is pretty good, and yeah, just the situation he's in, I remember just finding that hilarious when I was younger, and I still do now. Quite new to Mr. Deeds. I did watch it a few months back. Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent, but really the pickup is for Big Daddy for me in there. So, Coen Brothers classic, Big Lebowski. Yeah, I know sometimes I find that with Coen Brothers, I've said this before, but I find the more you watch their movies, the more you enjoy them each time. I had the same with Fargo. Yeah, 2 or 3 of their movies. I find that you watch them on first watching, you're not too sure about them, but then you give them a second or third chance, and they just progressively get better and better for me. So this is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Does need a rewatch for me, but you know, comedy classic in most people's eyes. This one I found as an import one. I found cheap on in a charity shop, I think, years ago. So that is Martin Lawrence in Blue Streak, and yeah, I used to have this on DVD. Watched it a few times, but it desperately needs a rewatch for me because I can't remember a thing about it. But yeah, that's on the shelf, ready to rewatch. Booksmart. So yeah, I enjoyed this one, pretty decent. I had to again import this one because I don't think it's got a UK Blu-ray. But yeah, these 2 girls, basically, it's very similar to sort of Superbad in some ways, but with girls. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. Absolute classic for me, Borat. This one absolutely cracks me up every single time. Like, there's not a time I've watched this and not burst out laughing multiple times. I'm sure everyone's seen this film by now. So, Bridesmaids, so for a few scenes, and basically any toilet humour I'm in, and you know, there's quite a notable scene in the middle of the road with this one, if you know, you know. So, a classic from Jim Carrey for a lot of people is Bruce Almighty. I thought it's okay. I do prefer a lot of his other work to this one, but yeah, one to put in the collection. Another Sacha Baron Cohen movie, Bruno. Again, not quite as much as Borat, but this one does crack me up. Yeah, toilet humour and anything inappropriate. Again, if you know, you know. This one I was quite new to, and it's another Adam Sandler movie. I hadn't seen this one. I don't think I'd even heard of it very much until fairly recently when I picked it up. But yeah, more of a like action comedy from the sort of early 2000s, I'd guess. Don't know, it's all too small for me to read on there. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. I do miss that type of comedy where you get like you know, basically a comedy duo basically try and do an action movie, a bit like the Rush Hour series. Yeah, worth a watch, I would say. Another classic I picked up fairly recently, and I've been, you know, first time watch for me in the last year or two. Caddyshack, enjoyed this one. Good cast in there. Yeah, I'm sure you know it's a classic. So this one again needs a rewatch for me, but I remember really enjoying this one when I first watched it, and it's The Change Up. So you've got from the director of Wedding Crashers and the writers of The Hangover, and Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. From vague memory, I think basically he's a young go-getter. He's like a stay-at-home dad almost, and somehow they swap bodies or personalities or something like that, and yeah, they live each other's lives and realise all the benefits, if there are benefits, of the other person. So another Adam Sandler movie, Click. Yeah, watched it, didn't mind it. Quite enjoyed the idea of the old time stopping with the remote and stuff like that. But yeah, just easy watching Adam Sandler. Another classic in a lot of people's eyes again, so Clueless. Picked this up when they released it with a nice slip on there. Another one I need to go back to. So Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, another classic comedy in a lot of people's eyes. So this one, again, I quite like most of the cast in this one. So this is Couples Retreat, so all these couples go off and stay on this lovely island somewhere. Yeah, just a lot of eye candy basically, lots of nice looking scenes and scenarios, and all these couples try to work out all their issues whilst on holiday. Yeah, fun in between, so pretty good. So not sure if this is a comedy or not really, but this is Coyote Ugly. That's in my comedy section. Again, I haven't seen this one since the days of DVD, so I need to give it a rewatch, check it's actually meant to be in the comedy section or not. This one again, a lot of people once they've watched this one surprised, and I was too. So this is Crazy Stupid Love. Again, good cast in this one. You've got Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, Kevin Bacon. You've got a whole load of people in there. Yeah, I remember really enjoying this one, and it's not quite as sort of like rom-commy as you may think. It has a bit more to it than that, so worth a go. Back to the toilet humour, I'm afraid, sorry. So this is Dirty Grandpa. Again, Zac Efron and Robert De Niro. God, the things Robert De Niro does in this, you think he's hit rock bottom in his career. But anyway, yeah, I don't know, I got a giggle out of it. So a rare DVD I've kept on hold, basically, because there's no Blu-ray of this. So if you like Jackass, you guys probably might have seen or know about the Welsh fellas, Dirty Sanchez. So they did a movie, but again, trapped on DVD. Just an absolute like nut job of a cast there, where they just go around and do absolute crazy things. Probably a bit more, yeah, a bit more body kind of like horror almost in terms of what they put themselves through compared to Jackass. But yeah, I really enjoy those guys. So this one again, The Disaster Artist. So you got James Franco, Dave Franco, and Seth Rogen in there. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Dodgeball, one of those classic 2000s comedies. Saw this one at the cinema. Drillbit Taylor, doesn't get mentioned a lot. It's okay. Yeah, here's what it is. Owen Wilson, again, another early 2000s comedy. Now this one I know a lot of people probably hate, but for me it came along at the right time, and it just tickled me every time I watched it. Dude, Where's My Car? So again, I had to import this one. It wasn't a UK release on this one as far as I'm aware. But Ashton Kutcher and Sean William Scott, a couple of stoners who lose their car. There we go. Absolute classic. Dumb and Dumber. Needs no further wording on that. Emma Stone, Easy A. Again, another comedy from sort of probably mid to late 2000s now, I'm guessing. But yeah, a lot of the cast from Superbad went off and did their own comedies or branched into other comedy movies, and I picked up quite a lot of those based on that. 5-Year Engagement. Yeah, I remember being surprised by this one. It was a lot better than I was expecting it was going to be when I went to it. But yeah, worth having a look. So who's this one by? This is producers of The Bridesmaids and the director of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So if you like either of those, you might be into a winner with that one. Speaking of which, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, again, if you know, you know. That one, not too bad. It always surprises me. I throw those ones on, and an hour and a half later, I've got through them. So this one, Four Lions. Again, this one, it's got a couple of good laughs in there. It's the only one I've got in this like a weird book format as well. So yeah, picked it up from a CEX. Don't really like the book format because it doesn't sit well on the shelves, but here's what it is. Friends with Benefits. So yeah, I always get this one modelled up with, there's an Ashton Kutcher one as well, I think. So no strings attached maybe, we'll probably get to it in a minute. Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis with Friends with Benefits. Needs a case replacement on there, but yeah, another one of those fairly easy to watch comedies. So Game Night, I did enjoy this one. Now I do like Rachel McAdams, Jason Bateman, yeah, not too bad. But this one, it's sort of like comedy border into like almost a thriller, where these guys are basically playing a game, and I think a couple of them they've got some friends round, and they basically get a couple get kidnapped, or someone gets kidnapped. These guys burst into their house, and they all think it's part of this game, so they're laughing and joking about it, and this person's been kidnapped, and then the penny drops later on, and they have to go find them. But yeah, good scenes in this one. Really enjoyed it. So Good Luck Chuck. Again, these are all comedies that you just won't get nowadays. They won't make stuff like this anymore. But this is the unrated version on the import. I think I've got it on eBay somewhere. It's got about an extra 5-10 minutes probably of footage in there compared to the UK version. But yeah, so in the same sort of lines, I suppose, as all those 2000 movies really. Then you've got Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam. So yeah, another classic. Sean William Scott again in The Goon. Again, another one which was surprising to a lot of people, I think, when they picked it up. Yeah, better than expected. And now we've got Groundhog Day, another classic there with Bill Murray. Adam Sandler again in Grown Ups. So Hall Pass, again, another one of those 2000s kind of movies. Basically the guy here, where is it? So you've got this guy here, he's basically given what they call a hall pass from his wife, where he's basically saying he's bored with his mundane life of marriage and you know, kids and settling down and everything. He wants just you know, a bit of freedom to do what he wants to do. So she says, fine, go do it then. No one's going to be interested in you. You can do whatever you like. So sure enough, he goes off with his pal, and they try and get back on the you know, back on the nights out, and trying to get involved with these women. And gosh, yeah, there's some funny scenes in there. So if you like that kind of humour, go for that one. Next, we've got The Hangover. Everyone must have seen that one by now. Hangover 2, Hangover 3. Now, I love this one as well, but it's one I had to import because you just cannot find it on Blu-ray in this country, and that is the Happy Time Murders. Yeah, again, you know, I keep mentioning, I shouldn't keep mentioning it over and over, but anything Jim Henson style, or Brian Henson in this instance, is some I'm in for, and I really enjoy this concept. So, yep. Haunted House, it was okay, fairly easy watching again. Horrible Bosses, again, another one of those easy to watch ones that you can throw on. Pretty good cast in it, and a good funny few scenes. Horrible Bosses 2. Hot Fuzz. Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen. Hot Shots Part 2. On to Shelf 2. Hot Tub Time Machine. I remember really enjoying this, but then I watched the sequel, and yeah, the sequel seemed awful. So I've kind of put that down to rewatch in case I really misjudged it on the first go round. So I give it a year. Again, this is one I didn't expect a lot from, but actually once you start getting into it, it was pretty good. A good funny, like anything to do with this type of comedy. There's a few inappropriate scenes in here which absolutely stand out for me. Yep, so worth a look if you've not seen this one. So this one's got Paul Rudd and Jason Segel, and that's I Love You Man. In-Betweeners movie, comedy gold. In-Betweeners 2. The Internship, bought this mainly for the cast, but yeah, it's okay. Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, not one of my favourites, but I do find it quite easy to watch. Got this one on Steelbook. This is the controversial at the time interview. So yeah, obviously one with the guys who did Bad Neighbours, and This Is the End. James Franco and Seth Rogen. But yeah, quite a nice Steelbook to be fair. There we go. Jackass 3. Jackass Forever. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Probably the first entry into their movies I watched, I think. John Hughes collection. So you've got in there Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, She's Having a Baby, Pretty in Pink, and Some Kind of Wonderful. So yeah, this came up on a deal somewhere way back, and I thought, yep, I'll have a piece of that. Just Go With It, another Adam Sandler movie. Again, you throw it on, an hour and a half whizzes by, a few comedy laughs in there in between. Bit more eye candy. Another one I really enjoy, Knocked Up. Another one, again, you would never make today. But yeah, Knocked Up. Jim Carrey classic, Liar Liar. Followed by a Jim Carrey classic, The Mask. Meet the Parents. Meet the Fockers. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Mystery Men. Naked Gun. Naked Gun 2. Naked Gun 3. No Strings Attached. Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher. Not Another Teen Movie. Again, another import version. No UK Blu-ray. Seth Rogen in Observe and Report. Another Will Ferrell classic for a lot of people. Old School. Pitch Perfect. I was surprised by this one. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but yeah, really enjoyed that. Same with this one. I picked this up, I don't know, second hand somewhere for a couple of quid, or maybe less, and that is Pitch Perfect 2. Pineapple Express. Yeah, again, picked up on for the cast on this one. Seth Rogen, James Franco. Enjoyed it. Okay, it wasn't the favourite of the lot, but I need to rewatch it. A more modern Adam Sandler in some ways. That's Pixels. Didn't mind it again. Pretty easy to watch. Police Academy Complete Collection. These were a comedy staple when I was growing up, especially the first sort of like 3 or 4. But yep, I've got the set. Project X, I think very similar to 21 and Over, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong down there. But yeah, Project X. Role models, again, Sean William Scott, Paul Rudd. So another one of those following that cast again. I did enjoy this one. Sausage Party with a great slip cover on there. Had to get it with the slip. Scary Movie, one of my all-time favourites. Scary Movie 1, 2, no, sorry, Scary Movie 2, 3.5 and 4. Sex Drive, underrated comedy, really enjoyed that one. Shaun of the Dead. She's Out of My League. Another really underrated comedy in my view, The Sightseers. So yeah, if you like sort of British comedies or that type of comedy, these two basically go off on a little caravan trip somewhere. It borderlines into comedy horror, this one. So there's a few kind of like, you know, kill scenes in it. Not spoil too much for you. But yeah, this is very kind of like oddball comedy. So if you like oddball comedy, have a look at the trailer for that one. South Park the movie. Superb. Another import. Starsky and Hutch. Probably my favourite Will Ferrell movie, Step Brothers. Love this movie. stop or my mum will shoot. Oh, terrible, but I grew up with it. What can I say? Superbad, one of my all-time favourites. Team America, classic. Ted. There's Something About Mary. This is 40. This is the End. Tropic Thunder. Twins. Walk Hard, which is sort of a parody movie on the Johnny Cash movie Walk the Line. I like this one, thought it's pretty funny. The Ultimate Vacation, where you've got National Lampoon's Vacation, 30th Anniversary, National Lampoon's European Vacation, Christmas Vacation, Vegas Vacation. So, yeah, all of those in that set. Then you got Vacation, the sort of reboot they tried to do. Voices, another underrated comedy. Wayne's World 1 and 2. Wedding Crashers. Wedding Singer. We're the Millers. What Happens in Vegas. What to Expect When You're Expecting. When Harry Met Sally, absolute classic. Yes Man. You Don't Mess with the Zohan. This gets a lot of hate, but I quite like it. You, Me and Dupree. Youth in Revolt. Again, I really like this one, but no one really talks about it. Zack and Mary Make a Porno. Enjoyed that. Zoolander. And that's it. That is a collection over. We'll be on nearly a half-hour video. I'll try and edit some of that down. But yep, that's all my comedy collection that I find pretty easy to rewatch and throw on anytime. Hope you've enjoyed, and we'll move on to probably the boutique stuff next. See you next time. Oh, shit.